Hello there and welcome to Songs of Praise on the fourth Sunday of Lent, which is traditionally Mothering Sunday, a time where we think about our moms and thank them for all they've done. Sadly though, for some children, they're still waiting for a parent to care for them, waiting to be adopted. And we'll be hearing how some churches are responding to that need, as well as meeting a mum who's decided to adopt rather than have her own birth children. For this coming St. Patrick's Day, we meet Eamon Martin, the Archbishop of Armagh, who sings for us.
And to celebrate Mothering Sunday, I'm having afternoon tea with the Overtones and their mums.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, spring's finally arrived. So our first hymn will be praising God for the beauty and love that surrounds us. I have absolutely no doubt that my mum totally loved me. Although she died a few years ago now, that solid, unconditional love that she showed me was so strong that I can sort of still feel it today. It's like a tangible feeling, which is why I'm really heartbroken that there are thousands of children waiting for a mummy or a daddy to love them in the way that my mum loved me. Thousands of children waiting to be adopted.
The charity Home for Good is trying to change this. They work alongside churches to encourage families to provide loving homes for children currently in care.
Is to model that same kind of love that God has shown us as his adopted children to the children that are adopted. Well, every 22 minutes a child is taken into care in the UK, and the system's really busting at the seams. So there's a need for 9,000 foster families.
Chris, when you think about it, when people get married and they want to start their own family, don't you think they just want their own baby?
That's a perfectly natural response, and babies are a wonderful gift from God. But again, we're saying this is not about us getting the children that we need. This is about families being the parents that children in need are in need of.
Chris, what do you think churches can do to really get on board with this?
We reckon there's around 15,000 churches that we're in touch with. So it only means one family per church to step forward for fostering or adoption, and for the rest of the church to wrap around them as like adoptive aunts and uncles, and we, the church, could meet the entire need in the UK. And when people think about worship in church, they often think about clanging guitars or pipe organs or preaching or stained glass windows. But God says, actually, it's caring for the vulnerable. That's what I consider to be true worship.
These days, there are fewer babies, but more children needing a home, and many of them have had a bumpy start in life.
Many of them have special needs. Many of them have brothers and sisters. Many of them are from ethnic minority backgrounds. And they're the ones that are being left behind in the system. And it's hard because this isn't Anne of Green Gables or Paddington Bear or Despicable Me. These children have had trauma in their lives, and many of them have ongoing challenges and challenging behaviour. And parenting's tough enough as it is, so you really need support. You need bodies around you. You need a network of help. And we've heard some wonderful stories where people have really stepped up to be those kind of adoptive aunties and uncles. One family we know, every Thursday night they say, we'll take out whoever's in your house, you know, adoptive kids, birth kids, foster kids, we'll take out whoever you like. And mum and dad get a night off, and these kids get a lovely time with their wider extended church family. So the church really can be the support that a family needs to actually do this.
Later on, we'll be hearing from a mum who, rather than having her own birth children, actually chose to adopt 2 little boys. And now we're going to hear a hymn written especially for Mothering Sunday. Well, Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day, and ever since that patron saint founded his church in Armagh way back in the 5th century, the city has been the ecclesiastical centre of Ireland. Eamon Martin, the Archbishop of Armagh, shares with us his love of music.
All through my journey to priesthood, and even growing up, singing and making music for God has been very much part of my own spirituality. There were 6 boys and 6 girls in our house. All my time growing up, I developed a love for God, a love for all things spiritual. I knew that really that God was calling me. It was the time that Pope John Paul II came to Ireland, and I can remember with a lot of my friends, we went to see the Pope. It made a huge impact on me, because he said that you as young people will be moving on to college and into employment, and people are going to tell you there's no need for God or there's no need for religion. But he said something else is needed. And he actually shouted those words out, something else is needed. And I really got a sense that God was calling me to something different. I began my studies for the priesthood. I went to Maynooth and I did my university degree like all of the other students. I did mathematical physics of all things. I also become more and more involved in music, particularly in music in worship. After I was ordained, I went back to Derry, to my hometown, and I worked there as a priest for a few years. And then suddenly got the call one day. Pope Benedict had nominated me to be an Archbishop in waiting.